Hello everyone, I hope you're well. Thank you so much first of all for joining me for another video. We are back in the workshop and I've got a Ranalah update with so much to tell you. Thank you for joining us. Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Dom. Welcome to my workshop. Morning all. Early start this morning, here bright and early at the workshop. Roller shutters already up. Electrolysis bubbling away, becoming a regular thing. The bare wheeling machine, the one that I've stripped down and taken all the parts off, is going off to Paul so he can take his measurements, work out everything he needs to do and make me a pattern. So, oh, the truck's here. Here he is, it's outside. I've given it a little oil so it won't go rusty. One short van journey and we're here to see Paul. I've actually beaten the Hiab truck. I don't know how, it's slightly worrying. Hopefully he's not had a problem on the way. I'm sure he would have called. Anyway, he's got some precious cargo. I do need to worry. Oh my God. Hang on. Oh, it's made it. Thank God for that. Oh yeah. Down that side lane. There's a side door down the end there. There's quite a bit of room down there, so yeah. Here it is. So he's had the wheeling machine here for a week maybe now. The way he's worked out from the original wheeling machine body to convert it into a computer programmed like 3D model, all by hand, just measuring bits and making templates and stuff, is just absolutely brilliant. Wendy's with us. She's come to give us a hand. He's pulled these sort of like very thin lines of tape onto the machine, used those as like datum sort of reference points all over the machine, transferred those measurements to the computer, redrawn, and then every 10 degrees or so worked out contour gauges and done profiles of the actual shape. Millions of measurements.
So the starting point was these lines here, and then swept that around to create a straight edge. So when I go back onto here, you've now got a straight edge.
Yeah, okay.
Then what I've done is I've kept together the important part. So that is now one piece.
And now I've got a completely 100% finished 3D drawing of a replica of the Ranalah wheeling machine. And that is an absolutely priceless thing to have for me. It's so helpful. He's very, very talented on the computer and the drawing and the technical side of the 3D rendering and all that sort of stuff. I'm not that good at explaining things, but I managed to obviously explain it to him, and he just seems to understand the project from the word go. From the minute he came here in the workshop the first time, he was just like, I get it, I love it. I just love the product, I want to be involved. Let me help you. He's beginning to love them as much as I do. And he said something, he said, these machines, he said, this machine, it's got a soul. And I really believe that's true.
I've taken that core line, which is the centre, and I've gone down as far as I can go, and then I've copied that and put it on. That's the bed of the laser cutter.
Okay.
So I've put in as much of that curve as I can.
Yeah.
Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll download that onto the machine.
This whole Ranalah recreation project is I think I had a vision at the start that's just like, you know what, I'm going to do this, and I'm a bit stubborn sometimes. It's just like I can do that. I can make the wooden pattern. I can do that. I could actually do all of this. I'm going to do the whole lot. And as I've gone through the various steps up until this point, I've learned so much. Not only practical things about casting and the foundry and the CAD stuff with Paul, but more about working as a team. And this whole project is becoming such a team project. It's a team effort. It looks like a Ranalah, and it's something about it. It's very hard to put into mathematics and numbers and angles because there is honestly not a flat, straight, square edge on the whole thing. And that's the extra little bit where the card's not big enough. Yeah.
It works with this template, but there was a bit of anomaly here, which it's fixed itself, but that is fairly similar now. Yeah, it's just the holes are, look, that's the centre of the hole here.
I see, so the plates are the same shape, but the
Plates
holes,
the same out,
the holes
but
don't. Yeah.
So if I line that up there, your whole rim is here.
Like you say, I reckon these holes are so massive because that was to allow to just put a smaller bolt through.
Yes.
So they're probably allowing for a little bit of sort of misalignment.
And then instantly you can see how different it is here to here.
From seeing how Chris does it at the foundry, I bet that is because they sort of pack each side of the box, the two halves, completely independently from each other, and then flip them over and put them on top of each other, and then they kind of rely on pins and stuff to locate them. So I reckon that is just the two boxes of sand,
not being tied up,
not quite, or when they're poured, it's sort of moved slightly, and it's just isn't it? Do you think it's
I think it is that.
The reverse engineering that we're doing, and we're sort of recreating one. We're really looking at every small detail, and I mean like where edges join edges, and there's a blend. It's like, what are we going to do here? What do you want to do there? How are we going to do that? It's fascinating. It's just brilliant. I'm loving it. Between myself, Paul, and Chris, I just think we've got such a good, strong team. Everyone understands what the other one's doing. Everyone is on board. Nobody thinks that I'm kind of insane for doing any of this. You're the best. Thank you. Thank you very much. See you later.
See you later.
Until next time.
Take care, mate.
Take care. So that's the first step of sort of reverse engineering to remake the pattern. Now I've got that 3D drawing. That's the first step, which is really helpful. The lower wheel is the next piece that we're going to be casting. The upper cradle, we all know about. We've seen that. That's the first piece that I've done. The lower adjuster, hand wheel adjuster, is next. Much more straightforward casting. Paul has got the lower adjuster wheel from Anthony's, which is broken, but there's enough of it there to work with. Those drawings are done, finished, all completely accurate, absolutely accurate, I might say. Paul's done a beautiful job of those. And he's got a piece of beech there, steamed beech, ready to go. I think we're waiting for the time to get on the CNC machine. So the lower wheel pattern is being cut out, hopefully very soon. Then it'll be up to the foundry, cast it, bosh, done. Brilliant. Another part done. Then the only piece that I need is the main body. Yes, that's the time-consuming bit. That's the expensive bit. Making the patterns expensive, buying the timber, the material is expensive. But that's the exciting bit. That's the main body. I've got the lettering. That's the only bit of branding that's cast on the machine. It's very subtle, and I think that adds to its beauty. It's just very considered. It's not covered in branding. It's very, very subtle. That's the only bit of branding that's cast onto the machine. So that lettering is so important. And I've actually managed to find, thanks to the foundry and someone else who put me on someone else, a group of guys that sort of bought some machinery from a larger company that got bought out, and they're carrying on. They're making lettering, or like letters, like foundry letters like that will be stuck on patterns. But the machines they're using and the company that they used to work for, where these machines were, has been going for over 100 years, I think they said. It's been a very, very old company, and the machines are even older than that. So there's every chance that the lettering that I've got, these beautiful cast letters that are sort of like white metal casting, every chance that they were made on the same machine by the same company that made these in the 30s for the two guys that started Ranalah. There weren't many companies around then doing things like that, and these are the place. I'll put the link in the description for the company. If you need anything, if this has inspired you to get into casting or having a go at casting something, you need to speak to these guys. They have everything you need. Literally, just give them a call, speak to them. They have everything. They're so helpful. They're really, really lovely guys. I've got a brilliant picture of the new R next to the old R, and it's just bang on. I could not be happier. It's such an important thing for me, that little logo, that writing on the top, and we've nailed it. Perfect. So thank you very much. There's been a few comments in the section below. Where on earth did this second Ranalah wheel come from? So yes, I've got the first wheel. You all know I found that covered in ivy, and we met the awesome old engineer who used to own it, and yes, that was brilliant. That is the wheel that I've melted all the lead, taken all the turned parts out, and has gone over to Paul to be measured up and drawn up. So he's got that one in his workshop. So where on earth did this one come from? So basically, I knew about this wheeling machine long before I found Anthony's one, but it was owned by a lovely, lovely old man who understandably was very reluctant to get rid of it. I just didn't want to rush him. I didn't want to push him, didn't want to keep hassling him. I think I probably did keep hassling him because I was desperate. So sorry if you're watching, sorry about that. It was basically in a workshop, buried, which was very difficult to get to, down a dirt lane that had all grown over, and it was way up north, and it was tricky to get out, to say the least. I had to get a huge crane, an absolutely ginormous crane. I think bearing in mind that weighs nearly a ton, it reached about 10, 15 meters out, stretched, and still picked that up like it was made of paper. Grabbed it back, we managed to get it out. It involved a tractor, a high-ab, a big crane. It was very expensive and time-consuming, but we got there, we got it, and then I got it dropped off here, and that is it. So that is the second wheel. I knew about it long before the old one. It took a good 6 months or so of negotiations and chats, but we got there. We've saved it. I've stripped the paint off of it and revealed this beautiful old paint. That's not the original paint, but I couldn't strip that off. It's just brilliant. It just looks awesome, like mint chocolate chip colour. I love it. And that actually came, so this wheel came from Hoopers. If you don't know who Hoopers are, do some homework, have a look online. Very, very famous old coach builders from back in the day in London. And a lot of the other bits that I got, the vice came from there. The other sort of stake dollies and anvils and bits and bobs and that weird stake holder, all of that stuff came from the same place, which all came from Hoopers. So it's an amazing thing. Very, very sort of good history with this machine, and it's in really nice condition. This is a big day for me. I've just got back now. I've just been up to the foundry, which is a good 2.5 hour drive each way, so it's a long old way. But I've got some exciting news. Look at this. Honestly, you're going to be, if you've been following this journey, you're going to understand how big a day this is. Have a look. This is the original lower cradle from Anthony's, the wheeling machine, that first one that I got that was covered in ivy. I've taken it off the machine, stripped it back, cleaned it up. That's it. So then what's this? This is the very first finished piece of my new Ranalah. Honestly, look how perfect that is. Every single detail is absolutely bang on. And then this one here, this is as I get it from the foundry. This is what it looks like. So it needs to have these surfaces machined. That needs to be bolted onto a mill table and have all of these slots cut in the top. The bottom face, you can see that's the rough casting. That's the machined version. Beautiful. Bang on. It's perfect. This is it. The very first piece of the new Ranalahs is finished. The pattern has been confirmed, absolutely perfect. The machining, bang on. All of these bolt holes and threads and everything from the original wheeling machine will cross over to these. So look, it's done. I am so pleased. It's been a huge amount of work. I know it probably seems a little bit underwhelming because I haven't actually finished the main body yet, but honestly, I've learned so much from doing this. I've invested so much financially and just time, effort. I've met some really brilliant people whilst working through this, and it's done. The very first piece is finished. Yes! So, anyone out there, hey, if you've got a Ranalah, an original Ranalah wheeling machine, and your lower cradle is some homemade, welded up, bodged up thing, or it's missing completely, get in touch. Now I can actually start selling these. I need to work out actually how much this has cost me to make. As long as my costs are covered, I don't really care. But anyone out there that needs a Ranalah lower cradle, get in touch, because now you can have one. Oh, I tell you what, that is such a nice feeling. That part is a big tick, done. trial and error, research, development, testing, planning, it's all done. I'm now going to take off that lower cradle on that wheeling machine, put on my new one, and just start using it, just to put it through its paces and test it. But I really have no concerns. I've measured it, we've tested it with all of the components that we took off of the other wheeling machine, and it just fits on perfectly. As good as the original. It's just absolutely brilliant. So it is such a nice feeling of just relief and excitement that now I need to sort the website out, because actually I can start selling parts. I've got the patterns now, so it would just be a case of calling up the foundry. Oh yeah, can you run me off a couple more? Get them cast, get the machining done, get the parts made, and we can start selling them. Yes, I know there's not many people out there that are gonna want one of these lower cradles, but I don't care about that. That's not what it's about. The handful of people out there that do want one, now I can actually provide them. So I'm already starting to help the industry, which is what this is all about. This whole process is just about trying to help and encourage and promote this industry. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope we've cleared up a lot of your questions, shown you where we are with the progress at the moment. I will try and keep these updates as regular as possible, but I can only do so much. I really, really hope you've enjoyed watching. Thank you so much for joining me again, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.